Hey, hi everyone. I think Web3 don't have good afternoon, good night. So we have GM. So GM everyone, and thank you for coming here. Um, I believe a lot of tech folks have just talked about a lot deeper into the tech part, but there are few aspects of the Web3 infrastructure adoption which has been always been untouched, and that is what we at Spheron are trying to solve that. We are trying to build. If you see the topic, I don't know like how many times you might have seen this topic in different conferences, but this topic is going to be very trendy by the next year. Like where we will be more talking about because the tech which we are building today, these all techs require a high adoption to even survive in the market. And to drive that adoption, you have to make sure like we build a tool, we have to make a developer experience great, we have to make user experience great, and that is what I'm going to talk about today. Um, Hi, my name is Prashant Maurya. I have been working into the Web3 space for the past 4 years. I spent my entire time here to understand the developer experience tool and how we can basically optimize the UX process. So whatever I'm going to speak, I have every data sets available with me. So if you want to know those data sets, I'll be more than happy to share that with you guys as well. But as I speak, I'll also speak about certain numbers and metrics. If you are building a developer tool experience, you can utilize those experience of Spheron and basically grow your ecosystem as well. Coming to, I believe I love this concept of like current state of the Web3 infra. So if you look at Web3 infra, we have Fluence has a very great talk speaking about like what Fluence is doing around the serverless ecosystem. We have Akash team here who is working more around Web3 compute, native EC2 instances, and even you can do a lot around them as well. And then on the storage side, we have Filecoin, IPFS, RV, and tons of other people who are building into the space. Now, the problem with every one of them in today, if let's say if Akash tries to solve one problem of make people to educate, they can only spend money to educate about their platform. And if you go to Fluence, it happens with the same. If you go to RVV, it happens with the same. What we are trying to do is like we are trying to create a common education framework for everyone who is onboarding on the Web3 infrastructure. And that is what I call about the learning curve part. Grant dispersal model is something which is very unique. All of us sitting here, if we have used AWS sometime, and I believe Tom was also speaking about AWS. AWS got so much of attraction also is because the moment you log into AWS, you get $10,000 credit or $1,000 credits out of the box. And then you use that credit to basically spin up or run your own business. But that concept is still not available in the Web3 infrastructure. Now, the problem statement which I'm talking here, it's very big. Just imagine if you are giving out token to the people who has to spend that same token into the ecosystem. They're taking that out and dumping into the open market, taking out the money out, and then they're spending on their lifestyles. That is not how we are going to survive the entire like market. Because if it is going to keep on happening, just imagine $10,000 given to 100,000 people, your protocol will be dead. So you can calculate that calculation. But that is what I'll show you like how exactly at Spheron and what are the things which we are trying to solve via that. And then fragmented ecosystem. So let's say if I'm a business owner, right? Who is going to use us? Are the people who are the businesses. And all the business are look forward to have one system where they just go and solve their problem statement. If they come to us today, we tell them, hey, you know what, for storage you go here, for compute you go there, for this you go there, and you just end up in like losing them. And that is one of the biggest challenge today. And then on top of that, you can't even automate anything out of it because everything is so fragmented. If you try to automate that, the problem with the automation thing will be is you'll end up in not automating anything because every system works in different way. There is no certain standard which has been set, and that is what creates another set of a problem. Support and education, as I talked about, this is again because of the fragmentation, the education, the support, and everything around the Web3 infra is very much spread out. Every community is teaching everyone in a different way. So this is something which we also should speak about. Wallet and tokens. Tokens are great for Web3. All of us here are like either, if you're an investor, we might be betting on the tokens to speculate the prices and like dump into the open market and get a profit out of it, or early liquidity, or do whatever. So it's up to you, like how exactly you want to take a look into. But Web3 infra should be more neutral. When I say more neutral, it basically means like, it doesn't matter if you are on Arbitrum, it doesn't matter if you are on Optimism, it doesn't matter if you are on any other place. you should be able to use infrastructure with no string attached. You can go and use Arweave, you can go use Filecoin, doesn't matter. But the thing is, we should be able to not bring token at the first stage. The token should be at the later stage, and that kind of creates another bottleneck for adoption as well. I'll talk about that, and also I'll show you some numbers around Spheron, how we kind of tackle that, and how the number kind of grown over the time as we kind of improved around the Spheron ecosystem itself. Coming to what we are trying to build at Spheron, there is two pillars of Spheron which we are kind of building. One is the developer-centric pillar, which basically focuses on how we can build the experience for developers to onboard Web3 infrastructure. And today, I'm very proud, if you go to Spheron today, you don't even need a Web3 wallet to basically log into Spheron. You don't need Web3 wallet to use Akash, Arweave, or Filecoin, or anyone we support. You first go and experience them, their speed, their performance, their support and everything, and then you go to the second option, which is like wallet, and then you start paying around that. And that is what we have kind of done for the developers and the companies, and they are loving it. I'll show that as well. Coming to protocols, imagine every protocol has to build this Spheron on their own. They will end up in building, like we spent more than 2 years into this space, learning, understanding UX. We talked a lot of developers. We have a lot of emails, a lot of feedbacks, a lot of surveys which we have done. We have all of those numbers. Just imagine if you have to do as a protocol alone. You'll end up in spending millions of dollars in doing that rather than focusing on adoption. And while you do that, we'll be more ahead of you for sure. So for protocols, we wanted to make sure like we are also more composable. So they don't just have to like use Spheron. They come to Spheron and say, hey, you know what? We want your dispersal model. Can you guys extend that to us? And we can basically give it as a composable item, and they can start using it into their own protocol. I'll also give the example of Akash Network. I believe Akash team is also here, Greg and the team. What we have done with them was like we asked Boz, like he's not here, to give us the token, equity token, and we wanted to disperse that equity token to some of the hackathon members to go and launch Akash Compute. And you know what happened with that? Is like they literally went and spinned up multiple compute instances via Spheron. Within few clicks, they did not even have to worry about equity token. They did not have to worry about anything. Like they did like why as a developer you should even worry about all of these things. You should be worried about your business should run, your API should work, your web application is live, how fast you can go to the market. That is what is going to matter to any consumers outside. Nothing, no else complications out there. So that is what for the protocols. If any protocol is looking to extend that, we'll be more than happy to give them this support. Coming to the Spherons, how we are kind of leveling up the experience. Like what are the things which you get out of the box from this Spheron? I think you might have heard the concept of aggregating liquidity. Like money from different dexes. Now there is a swap, cross-chain swap, and all of those things already came. But aggregating Web3 infra, I think 2 or more than even before that, we started coining that term. I don't know like who was the original coiner, but since we have started speaking about that, we call it ourselves. But this was a term which was not known earlier. So aggregating the Web3 infrastructure is going to play a very vital role because as a business, you don't go to different places, as I said. You have to go to one place and you aggregate at one place and people should be able to access that. Coming to the other part is like the no wallet and token to start. It's true. You go to Spheron, log in. You don't need a wallet to basically make things work. You get everything out of the box. No code dev tool and automation. It is already built in. So you just go to Spheron, connect your repository, and it just happens. It's a brace for everyone. So even not only for, we are currently working to include compute as well. And once that happens, just imagine it's like Terraform kind of functionality. You just go and say, hey, you know what, deploy my 10 compute to different 10 providers out there, and it will happen. And that is what the no-code tool and automation kinds of comes into the picture. Built-in grant dispersal model, I have already given the example of Akash, how we have done that with them. And as we are moving forward, we are kind of carving that out as a simple functionality as well for the people to start using it into their protocols. Education and support. I'll just go and type on Google today, Dapathon, Dappathon, and you'll be able to find there's a hackathon which is happening in India. Not in India, it's a hybrid one. We have got more than 2,400 participants in that so far within the last 1 month. The reason I'm mentioning that number is because in that Dapathon, we are educating people about what is Web3 infrastructure, how exactly you can use that, how you use multiple part of it. And then the next part is the payment. And again, this part is something which interests me a lot. The reason being because if you are a company building something, you need a right payment infrastructure to basically make sure like you are paying for that services, whatever you are using. And this is where you get out of the box from this Spheron. And as I speak, I just don't speak because I just came over here and just wanted to speak out, like some fake numbers. We have talked to our users, and this is what our users have said so far with about this Spheron experience. If you want, I'll share this slide, and you can always take a look. And this is how its entire Spheron architecture and ecosystem is kind of looks like. On the top, you have payment infrastructure. On the center, we have Spheron, which is aggregation layer. And on the down, it doesn't matter. It's where if you promote Spheron, you are promoting all of the infrastructure which is down there, which basically means like we all have to work toward to making sure like Spheron also becoming more and more integrated into the various ecosystems. Coming to some high-level achievements and numbers, this is what our growth kinds of looks like. We have been able to achieve 4,500 plus developers so far, having more than 40 plus partnership with different companies, and we are working closely with them. Now we are enabling the enterprise as well to see like how we can help them out as well. Soon, next time if I stand here, the data should be like much more higher than that. In the next 6 to 8 months, we are looking for to onboard around 50,000 developers plus, and including both Web 2 and Web 3, because Web 3 don't have a developers like that much. So just to be very clear. Yeah, so that is it. I believe I'm on time. I try to like keep my time intact. So if you want to reach out, Prashant@Spheron.network. You can also find every detail of it on Spheron.network website as well. We'll be more than happy to take the conversation forward. Thank you so much.
Thanks.